Hi guys, my name is Morgan. Today I'm going to be doing an impromptu video where I talk about the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona that I literally can't stop thinking about. I'm trying to be good and wait for like maybe my birthday to ask for it, which is in July, so that's my plan. So at some point I am going to end up getting this palette, but I figured at the same time I could look through my collection right now and see what I can try to like use to recreate looks that I would want to make with what I have in my collection. So I have 5 palettes laying in front of me right now that I figured we could go through and look at comparisons. I shifted over here so that I can have a picture of the Yucca palette over here for comparison wise. But the first thing that I saw a lot of people were also making the comparison is with the Subculture palette. This color story was definitely before its time, I think. It looks like this, and I'm just looking at a picture of the Yucca palette next to me. I see a lot of similarities obviously with the like golden mustardy shades, like that one and that one, and even right here, as well as the deep green shades seem pretty similar. The sparkly gold there, this definitely has these vibes. I love this palette and I just forget to use it. I need to remember to use it, but you know, maybe the Yucca is going to inspire people to get out their Subculture palettes that they might still have. Another one that I think is similar is the Batty Bean and Shroud Cosmetics It's Freaking Bats palette, which honestly I keep thinking about it because I know that Batty Bean is not like into Natasha Denona, but this is like 100% her vibe, so I wonder if she's gonna take the plunge and try it. I don't know, but my palette is a little bit broken, but comparisons that I see as this lime green kind of reminds me of that matte shade. I mean, this is a shimmer, but I'm trying to not hold it because this shade kind of fell apart, but yeah, that shade reminds me of that matte, even though it is a shimmer. As well as the deep green, and then this shimmery shade here, this like mustardy, greeny, pukey color, and then this reminds me of the dark brown. So even though looking at this first glance, you probably don't think it would look like it because it has those pops of purple, but this does have the more grungy, gross greens that we love. This one, I don't think you can even buy anymore. This is BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland. And there's only a few shades in here that I think resemble the Yucca palette. I would say, let's see, I'm looking at the palette again. Well, first of all, this gold shade here. Kind of this Glacier Express shade here reminds me of that more pewtery one in the palette. And of course these two greens, there's a dark brown and like that orangey color. I think there's some similar vibes you can get out of this palette too. Now this is the Goddess palette from Alter Ego. So this is not necessarily a Natasha Denona gold palette, but that's literally what it's based off of. It's one of those dupe brands. Looks like this. And I know a lot of people were talking about how this does have like gold palette vibes. I get it, but I also don't. So I feel like, you know, like some of the warm toned mattes and the gold shivers and like maybe the matte, but besides that, like this one has a lot more of a green toned vibe and this is more goldy, but you know, still similar enough. And finally, we have an actual Natasha Denona palette. This is the Bronze palette. Looks like this, and I think it's fairly obvious that this is you know, obviously the gold shimmers, there's that orangey shade there, the more terracotta color that encompasses the gold and orange shades. So that's a very quick little video that's just kind of talking about the Yucca palette and like how I can use shades in my collection without actually having the Yucca palette, at least for now, because I feel like I'm gonna end up having it. I'm trying to be good, but you never know. I like Natasha Denona. It's like a little treat for me, and I just like, I do enjoy how fancy it is, and like I love my looks every time. They look beautiful when I make a look with them. So it is interesting to me to see more like unique color stories from Natasha Denona, because of course this is like beautiful, but this is pretty boring. You know, like the bronze palette. And then it's not in this video, but the what's it called? Is it called the Glam palette? Wow, I can't even remember it. It's my favorite one. Hold on. Yep, it's called the Glam palette. I just had to check. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know it was pretty short. I don't know if that was useful for you, but I feel like these kinds of colors, like grungy colors, are becoming a lot more popular. Like they have been for a few years, but like they're, you know, mainstream brands are finally catching up. So I've also heard that they're good for olive toned, but then some people will look sick on them. Maybe it makes me look sick. I don't know. I don't honestly know what my undertones are, but I don't really care. I wear literally whatever I want, and I feel cool when I wear these colors. So this is not part of this video, but I just realized that this Black Moon Cosmetics liquid lipstick and cider would look like beautiful. Oh, first of all, it matches my shirt, but with this palette it would look so good. I love it. It's more like a fall palette, but honestly, like, usually by this point I'm getting into like fall already. Like, I know it's funny because it's like the beginning of June, but I would be like ready for fall. But this time I'm actually sticking more with summer. Like, I'm enjoying summer. So interesting how times change. Well, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.